All right, we're gonna look at some work that you did, and then we'll do a little shakering analysis on top of what you've done. So, Caitlin, this one is yours. Nice work on it. And I could have used a lot. I could have used pretty much anybody's here. So, you guys did a great job on this assignment. Well done. That's good. All right. What's that show up here? This meeting?
Setting the fundamental line.
Fundamental line. It ends on 2. What's that called? It doesn't go to 1. It's interruption. Good job. If there's an interruption, you can show that like this, 2 vertical lines. We end on 2. I changed it to make this 2 the ones that from there on out it's embellishment of a goal already attained. See the difference between those 2? So you want to pick the first one where 2 arrives. That's the news, and then, well, yeah, it happens again. So show where it arrived mainly. Here you can stem this one because it's the goal of this phrase. Now, what should I do with this measure if I'm going to go further than what the directions require? If I want to show what's going on here in a shakering way, what will I do? What's going on in that measure? Which one?
We're just staying on one. Yeah.
Arpeggiation, good. How do I show that? Slur right on. So I can slur all those together and show that they're all expressing one thing. Tonic track. Now, here's a 5-1 motion, and that is nicely done. That shows that it is stable. It's a dominant in the position, and it does resolve to our 1 over here. It's an embedded progression. What will I want to be doing if I'm taking a Shinkarian mindset here? How will you treat these 2 notes in the bass? You want to show how everything belongs to the tonic. So what do I do to make that clear?
Slur.
To show relationship between these 2, I slur them together. Now, the truth is that this belongs to, so I can do this, can't I? All of them. Remember the process overall is to get here, and then we can break it into parts. See how that relates to what we just saw in the Bach? We do have a return to what we started with, so we want to show that, but then we also want to show that, you know, there's something in there, right? It does relate as arpeggiation of time. Okay. Yeah, and we're done with that phrase. What will I do with the 2-6 here? That's new. We didn't have that before. This business is all old hat. We already did that. This is a parallel period. So what do I do here?
Can you like connect it to the 5?
Good. Now this is clearly important, but if I want to elevate this from just being stemless note head, I can, and we usually do that right there. And then this is a big stem, it should be, so this is good. Incomplete neighbor to the 5. When I'm done, everything should connect up. Up here, what will I do to clarify this business here?
2 above.
Yeah, and then this is an important note, but this gets quite a bit of weight too. How do I explain it? There is neighbor in motion here, coming right back to it. But I need to tie this into its surroundings. What does 2 belong with? In Shinkarian? 5. So how do I show that belongingness?
The line.
Yes, displacement. A diagonal line.
Oh.
It says those belong together. If you get rid of this embellishment, you'll see that they do belong together. Okay, so 2 really belongs to the 7 as all part of 5 elaborated. you're trying to join everything to either the opening tonic or to the 5 that follows and show its relationship one way or the other. This says this embellishes that, and this says this is really unpacking notes of the dominant. Okay, that's that phrase. Any questions about either of those two phrases?
I got a question. For the second measure at the top, you connect the F to the C. I understand that that's because it's...
Oh, you mean the first one?
Yes, in the
Okay.
in the base.
Oh, okay.
F to the C you connect because it's like choral. You can kind of wear that. But do you do anything with the EG or do you just leave it like that?
You don't have to worry about them.
Okay.
Now, Schenker often accounts for everything, but we're just going to mainly deal with the outer parts, which he does sometimes too. But a lot of times he accounts for everything. Very detail-oriented guy. Okay.
How do you feel the second to last meeting?
Oh, how do I join it all up to the dominant? Because I'm so used to doing it, really. It's not like some big mystery. It's just that I'm going, okay, does this really belong to the tonic? Or does it belong over here? Well, it's subordinate to the 5, so I want to show that relationship. And then these two, well, as soon as I believe that the 2 belongs with the 5, then it's easy to connect these two and say, okay, they're both part of the dominant. I'm just embellishing the dominant in 2 ways. A leap up here and an incomplete zero motion down here. The basic impulse is to group things together that belong together. And I have to decide, does this stuff belong to the 5 or to the 1? Because they're the main structural events in the phrase. So I'm constantly having to decide, do I group it here or do I group it there? Who does it belong to? That's the question. All right, let's look at another one, and I'm going to set you loose to start working on that. So make sure you got your Mozart for the first of the 2. Oh, and here was David's too. You copy both of yours in there. And David actually copied it on a separate sheet and showed a lot more elaboration there. So look, he's already doing this and connecting those 2. So nicely done. All right, here's David again. Consent, it's hard to see, isn't it? Let me deal with these in 2 bits then. Actually, maybe I should shrink it. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in the base, we have 1, 5. One is coming up right around the corner. And the bend progression, and then he's showing the 6 as basically tonic in function. The new arrival is the 2-6, that's good. 2-6 goes to 5, our dominant back to 1. The big stem to show those are the main structural events that bring closure. It's all about getting to the goal. How do we get there? Through 5. And melodically through 2. 2 going to 1. Okay, now I'd like you to take a little bit of time to say, where do I group these? Where do I group these? And how do I do it using the Schenkerian method? Do the same with all the bass, and let me know when you're done. Just let me know so I can see. Go fast. And if you need to talk with a neighbor, go for it. Add to your sheet the slurs that are necessary to interpret the whole bass line in the Mozart.
For the 5.
Sorry, can you repeat the directions again?
You can interpret the bass line just like we did on the last one. Using slurs to connect
Oh.
stuff. And if you need to add some stems, do that too. Stems and slurs, add them to clarify just the base.
Do you want the entire thing or just the last? It's just the two things. Okay. Well, this is
We'll get to the melody in a sec. Do the bass line first though. It's
Is this
easier.
first step? No, you're not. You're working it.
So you can really good. So if you need help, talk to this man right here.
It's not on.
So that it was in the same register as that one. See how they're the G and the A? I could have moved them both up. But I was just leaving your main number one. But I want, if I put this one in this register, I want this one in this register, then I can see the.
Did you connect all of these?
So it matters, it's just easier to, it's just easier to, it's just random, it's like in the F's and then it's just upper register. Is that what you just told you just?
When you're done, I should be able to see how every note
Which register?
connects back to the fundamental
Yeah.
structure.
It doesn't really.
In this case, it's
It's in some registers. And it's also kind of what tends to, so you're kind of taking the same register.
These are two.
And then everything else.
It just kind of makes it cleaner. It doesn't be overly.
Five and one at the end.
Either side uses well on their own.
Okay, what does it relate to now?
Yeah. You
This,
understand just.
okay, so show it as related back.
But those lines are the.
That says it's subordinate to the line.
As it is, otherwise they're.
The two goes to the five.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, I can.
Yeah, I remember I had a whole semester on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Then
It was mandatory for I was not, 'cause I didn't do all the
Damage
stuff.
so it's really
I
obvious.
just had,
We'll miss
I
them if
just had some extra time.
Yeah, okay.
that's what.
That's good. You can actually, and show it as an intermediate between the two. You can. But this is the essential, related back. You don't have to if you leave it, or you can start it.
Wait, why?
You don't have to.
Okay, six and six is five.
Okay, here, let's just go real quick. Let's work from the back. I would like to know where my goal
But
is,
you
and
need to
then back
start
up.
from the G.
These two stems are really important. What do I do here? Which one of these is the main note? First I want to join them, right? But now I gotta clarify which one's the main G. Good, I would pick the G as well, the first one. Now, how does it relate? How important should I make it? What did you do? Just eighth note? Good, that'll say subordinate to these quarters here, but still important. Now, I have these kind of unconnected, they're floating. How do I show the relationship to bigger events? To the 5, good. Sort of the 5, excellent. What did you say about the 6? Sometimes Shanker will show it as a bridge to the 1, so he'll do this and he'll slur it again, that's fine too. So 6 is kind of ambiguous. Is it the kind of like a 5 of the 2? Yeah, kind of. You with me there? This chord has E, G, and B in it. So the 5 of 2, the 5th is E. So he connects for that reason. But it also is kind of like an arpeggiation down to it. So we can pull in this as well. Very ambiguous what to do with the 6. Very ambiguous. If you just connect it back, it says that's a stand-in for time. They're related to one another. Okay, that's enough. How about what to do up here. First, what should I do? Get the main event, which is D1. Okay, then what? 5. Okay, that's a big deal too, but not nearly so big, right? So what if we just leave it? Okay, how should I interpret it? How does it relate to stuff around it?
Base arpeggio.
1 to 1, good, base arpeggiation, 1 to 1 for sure, and then the base arpeggiation we can show inside it if we like. Any questions?
Doesn't matter which,
Erase it, go ahead.
doesn't matter which one you connect it to, the 5. I connected it to the second.
Well, I'll pick the first one, I've got 2 in a row and it's essentially one thing. You're cutting it in half if you start here, but if you mark there, you're done. Now, you could just do, if you just, I don't even really need those slurs, everybody will know what's going on. If I have that big slur to the 1 and I see 151 in there, I'm done. So I'm being very detail oriented, but I don't have to, actually. We'll all get it. Yeah, Charlie?
For the 6, do you have to do one or the other or both?
Any of the above.
Okay, alright.
It has to, you have to show how you interpret it, but any of those interpretations.
So both is an option too?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. He actually uses the word durchgang, which is passing, used for passing tones, for this when it gets between.
Okay.
It's a way of getting, bridging to the predominant. Kind of not really one or the other. Sort of predominant, sort of one, sort of, in the
Okay.
middle. So it's okay, I can live with that
Okay.
ambiguity too. I have to erase this so that we can move down and look at the melody now. Okay, take a few moments and look at the melody on your sheet and interpret it. Do the same thing, add slurs, see what connects to what. Passing tones should fall under a slur and not get any standing or slurs to them. Passing tones should be intermediates, ways to get somewhere. Go ahead, try that out.
Anything you close to the G.
That's all the answers there.
I mean the D over here. Oh.
So obviously you're 4, because it's an extra 4 appears on the way down. I did this, I started these two because it's the same note, it's just a neighbor tone. And then I did this, because these are the same chord, but he told me to reconsider. So, I'm not sure how this is. But I mean, that's how, it's part of the
No.
chord. So
The same as your B, since this connects to that, connects to it, so. So 5 and 4, it doesn't require this. See what I mean by that? But everything between those 2 points needs to be interpreted.
To the next D.
Guys, when you have a beam like this, the connection from here to here is clear. You don't need to connect this stuff into that unless it's embellishing that. You see what I mean? So you don't need a slur from here to here, because you already know that this moves to that. You don't have to show a connection. The beam already shows that one gets to the next, okay? So the beam takes care of it, no slurs needed into it. One or the other. But you do need to tie all this stuff either backward or forward, one of those two, usually backward. The thing you're elaborating. Yes.
And there's a passing motion. So G to G and G to B.
That's good. Oh, you don't want to do boom, because that's passing motion. See what the main notes are in this one, based on and then show passing motion like this.
What about F and motion?
Let's see,
No.
That's not registered.
Ah, okay, good, excellent, you gotta do that first.
To realign how it's or dispatching, I'm sorry, that's the word.
These two measures. And then.
They're both tasks. What's the next chord thing?
So I connected
Then
them.
that's a loop, so you can connect those and show those as tasks. You don't have to put keys on them, you just have them under a slur. And you'll know that they're passing.
That's kind of the same process as the base.
There. I want to connect the two onto that.
They don't. They actually, because you're connecting these two
Yeah, you don't
tones,
have to, he was swearing like this.
because this is part of the chord.
It's not needed,
Right.
we can see
So,
the name here.
this is a neighbor to this,
Everything in
and this
here
is a neighbor
needs
to this.
to be interpreted.
Or you can interpret it
What's the
as,
next?
I think that's
as a linear.
I'm gonna start. Is this necessary?
I did, but I don't know if it's necessary, because you're showing it with this big slurs, that it's all just a
Yeah,
passing
so,
motion.
and then you can see the passing motion between.
What's wrong with my slur to the B?
That makes it look like those two are part of the same chord,
Okay.
and I don't think we use a V as part of it.
Okay.
And it's a 5-7, but not a 5-9. Now, it's possible to have a 5-9 even in Mozart, it's true. But that doesn't
It doesn't resolve.
there, so,
Correct.
well, maybe there, I guess. But it doesn't really sound that way to me.
Right.
So, what's a better interpretation would be?
Sounds like tango.
Is next chord? I'm not too.
There's no chord change yet.
Oh, yeah.
It's so tempting to slow up to that B, but more stable than that.
In complete measure?
Good, and how would you show that? Incomplete neighbor 2.
Dr. Patty.
Yeah.
What did you say? There's no place to that. You didn't.
That's true though, that's great.
Oh, I thought you did it on the board.
This one, I think you said.
Yeah, we did on the board. Oh, you mean your copy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Here's a chord note, right?
Through.
So, it's an upper neighbor to this,
Okay.
It's
and then you
all.
relate this back to this.
Okay, so we're gonna look at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little crazy.
No, but what I'm saying is like this.
Okay,
is
it's
along
maybe
like
it's
here,
only
but it's just along-
Right.
No, because your beam actually.
Without just kind of like leaving it out there.
Okay.
But you
Sorry.
didn't have like arrow part, so you didn't.
Right, it's not like it's changing register, it's all there.
Okay, let's talk a little bit and see what we got. What'd you do for this first one chord in the melody? How about right here? You're good, you're on a roll, go for it. F to A and then the C? Actually, the C is not quite the goal. It's subordinate to something else. Yeah. We'll get there. Okay, what happens next? Say again?
A to A, or the G to A.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's the main thing, the main note coming back again. So that's a good slur to have in there. And then you can show that as well, of course. I like that big slur showing the connection, that we're right back where we started, right? They haven't gone anywhere, so that's a good thing to show. You might do the same thing here. Here's your dominant, And the big picture is you start and end on the same thing, so you might do that first. And go, oh, okay, there it is. That's the big picture. That's nice, so get the big picture and then break it down a little bit. Okay, we're on a 5-7 here. What should I do in this part? What kind of motion is this?
Never.
That's easy. Okay, neighbor going on there. Now, wait a minute. What's going on here? What'd you end up with? Just what'd you end up with?
I picked the A as a neighbor town to the G,
Mhm.
and then the rest of it's kind of related back to that A.
Okay, good. Now that is actually the root of the chord, isn't it? But melodically, it doesn't sound like the main thing. So I kind of like demoting it. Giving this quarter as a quarter is good, and giving this as something subordinate is good too. But this, what is the B serving as then? Here's the root. What's this? And then you're saying? Yeah, incomplete neighbor. Right on, yeah. And so what's the A sharp? Yes, a chromatic passing tone. So there are levels of embellishment going on here. First you have to have the incomplete neighbor, and then you get to it through chromatic passing motion. Does that make sense? Sort of? I can't just slur from here to here, even though it's tempting, isn't it? Why can I not slur between those two?
It's not in.
Right. B's not part of the chords. Okay, what do I do in this measure? Neighbor, I have to mark it where I can see E sharp. Okay, what do I do here? One chord. Big picture? Where should I go?
F sharp to F sharp.
Good. Big picture, thank you, Renee. Good job. That's you're gonna be a great symphony. See that motive? Everywhere, isn't it? Lots of neighbors. Even here, there's neighboring. So lots of neighboring motion going on. All right. And passing motion, to make that clear, I'm gonna put one extra slur here to show that that's passing between two chord tones. Chromatic passing tone number 2, making a pair of passing tones. And this is a sequence of that, isn't it? Just down a third. So everything's moving down a third of the bass. So we'll do the same thing here. That's easy. Comes back again and do the same thing. Easy. All right, what should I do in this measure? La, 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 la. Remember, bracket that off and say the main thing's the 5. So what do? This is your key, Joshua. You're gonna tell me this one. It's just, can you say? I know there's a little passing motion, but basically what's going on. Help him out. What's going on? Trish.
I don't know.
Is it arpeggiation?
Oh.
Yes. Okay, so what should I do? A connect.
Is it G?
Good. Let's do this first, all right? And then
Everything else.
everything else, they're all, except for that passing tone, they're all part of the dominant, so I can connect them.
So you still have to, would you then have to connect the E to the bass? No? That way? Should you do that?
Yeah. Good. Yes, absolutely. Then I can see why we connected all this into a leading tone, which would seem a little oddball, right? We're thinking 2 chord and then 7, that's kind of the same chord, but we're saying that that displacement sign, we're saying, oh yeah, I see why that's all done. Any questions on that? What are we doing with our slurs most of the time?
Connecting chord tones?
I'm just saying, here's the chord and these 2 notes belong to it. Connect them. But a bigger priority is actually to say, you know what, it's all basically 5 with embellishment, it's all 4 with embellishment, it's all 3 with embellishment, and then 2, see how that shows up? It's pretty clear, isn't it? It's clearly moving from 5 to 4, and then from 4 to 3, and then to 2 or to 1. And our slurs help us see that. We can have the big picture slur and then divide it up into stages within it. That's good. Okay, we're out of time, so we'll have to end there. We'll have to talk about the last one of those pieces next time. Okay, do you feel a little bit clear about what Schenkerian goals are? You want to show process. You want to show the goal, where you start and how you get there. The process of arriving. Melodically, how do you do that? Line, stepwise motion, down. Harmonically, you do it by going from 1 to 5 and then back to 1. 1, 5, 1. That's the big picture. And then slurs to connect things that belong to one another, and stems to help us distinguish what are the main events and what are embellishments. So we had 2 embellishing 5, because one was an 8 and one was a quarter. Use those differences to help clarify what's embellishing what. Right, this next assignment is going to be more of this. We got one more shot at doing some Schenkerian analysis, and then we'll be on to other things. So if you need some help with it, just come on by and see me. I'm happy to work with you on it. Okay.
Proposal review. Very big.
Proposals are due, so you should be seeing me for that too. I really wanted to talk a little bit about this, but we didn't have time. The introduction to writing analytical essays. Make sure you spend some time with this. Begin to analyze this. These points are really good for helping you find a good topic. He's got some good points to make in there, and I think it'll really help you. He says look for quirky things, look for beautiful things, things that catch your ear, zero in on those things. Do you have a piece that you just really like? Find something about it that you find really captivating. Zero in on that thing and describe what you see. Just describe it in plain, careful English, and then say, okay, I think I can highlight that in this way. That's all you really need to do. Find a passage that captures something that's important about the piece. Describe it, and say, here's how I think I'm going to approach it. And demonstrate it. If you think you can use a Schenkerian approach, that's great. Maybe you're not even sure how to approach it, but you've got a few ideas. Well, write those down. Say how you think what you might approach, what aspect of the music are you going to deal with, and how might you highlight those features. Do you just need Roman numerals to show it? Is it a melodic event? Is it a harmonic thing? Show me what sort of, maybe it's a rhythmic deal. Zero in on some aspect that makes it beautiful to you, makes it interesting to you, or weird to you. Quirky's good too. So, yeah, I like that as well. Any questions on that? I'll give you an email about what I'm looking for. Well, I guess I'll put it up online, but I'll email you when it's up there. Some guidelines for what I'm looking for. Okay? Find a piece that you love and talk to me about it soon. Early. Sooner the better. All right? And we'll start analyzing it together a little bit. See if it's going to be good.
I think it's what it says.
Chris, can you read my camera? Stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.